Hi, welcome to Grade 4, Lesson 25. Our learning target for today is I can decompose and compose fractions greater than 1 to express them in various forms. For today, you will need your Lesson 25 homework sheet. If you are ready, let's get started. Number 1 says, convert each mixed number to a fraction greater than 1. Draw a number line to model your work. Okay, so our first question has 4 and 2/5. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a number bond to decompose into ones and fifths. So I'm going to break this down into ones. There are 4 ones and 2/5. Okay, so now since I need to put these together, I need to know how many fifths are in 4 ones, because we want the denominator here to be the same so that I could add them together. So I know that 5/5 is 1 whole, 10/5 would be 2, 15/5 would be 3, and 20/5 would be 4. So 4 ones is the same as 20/5. So now I can go ahead and add 20/5 to 2/5 because the denominators are the same. 20 plus 2, 22/5. Now to check our work, let's draw a number line with 0 and 5 as our endpoints. Okay, so we're going to have 0, and I have 4 and a little bit more, so that's why we're going to go all the way to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now that I have my 2 endpoints, I need to know how many fifths are in between each endpoint. So in order to change these to fifths, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be another 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 5/5. And I need to go to 4 and 2/5, so I would have 2 more fifths here. So from 0 to 1 is 5/5. From 1 to 2 is 5/5. From 2 to 3 is 5/5. And from 3 to 4 is 5/5, which this right here is a total of 20/5. And then I have to also add my 2/5. So when I go ahead and put this all together, 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22/5. So now we converted our mixed number into a fraction greater than 1. Okay, and here is our number line that proves it. We're going to go ahead now and move on to letter C. We're going to do the same thing. We'll do more practice. So letter C has 5 and 3/8. So the first thing we're going to do again is we're going to use a number bond to decompose the 5/8 into ones and eighths. So that I have 5 ones and 3/8. I want to know how many eighths will make up 5 ones. So I will have 8/8 is 1. 16/8 would be 2. 24/8 would be 3. 32/8 would be 4. And 40/8 would be 5. So I have 40/8 that would make up the 5. So 40/8 is the same thing as 5 wholes plus my 3/8. Now I have like denominators. 40 plus 3 is 43/8. Okay, so now let's check our work and draw a number line. Here we have 5 and a little bit more. So we're going to go from 0 to 6 because we have to do a little bit more. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And we are dividing each endpoint into eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have to go to 3/8. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So again, like we did on the top, between 0 and 1, how many eighths make up the whole is 8/8. Between 1 and 2 is 8/8. Between 2 and 3 is 8/8. Between 3 and 4 is 8/8. And between 4 and 5 is 8/8. So I have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. So from here to here is 40/8. And don't forget, I still have the 3 little eighths there. So I have to include that 3/8. So we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 40 plus 3 is 43/8. Okay, that is how we changed our mixed number into a fraction greater than 1. All right, now let's move on to number 2. Number 2 says convert each mixed number to a fraction greater than 1 and show your work. Okay, so we have 5 2/3. So again, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a number bond, and we're going to separate the ones, which is 5, and into my fraction, which is 2/3. So there's my 2 parts. And now I want to know how many thirds are in 5. So in the number 5, since this denominator has a 3 in it, I want to know how many thirds are in 5. And then I will have my, don't forget to add the 2/3 to it. Now remember, because if I put this 1 underneath, what I really have is 5 times 3 over 3. These two equations are exactly the same, and they are both equal. So if I go ahead and solve this, I will have 5 times 3 is 15 over 3. And then don't forget to add the 2/3. So 15 plus 2 is 17, and I bring over the like denominators. So my answer becomes 17/3. Okay. Let's go on to letter C. Again, we're going to start off with drawing a number bond, and we're going to separate the ones and the fifths. Okay, so now I need to know how many fifths are in 4 ones. Now remember when we did it on top, all I mean by how many fifths. So when I'm saying 4, I need to know how many fifths make up 4. That means if I were to go ahead and do 4/5, 8/5, 12/5, what you're doing is you're counting by 4s. So if I have 4 times 5/5 plus my 1/5, I'm going to rewrite this 4 times 5/5 because remember, when we visualize it, it really means 4 times 5 over 5. These two are exactly equal. They give me the exact same answer. It doesn't matter which way you multiply them. So when I do 4 times 5, that's 20 over my 5. And if I add my 1/5, I get 20 plus 1 is 21. And I bring over the same denominator, 21/5. Okay, that was number 2. All right, now we're going to go on to number 3. Okay, number 3 says, convert each mixed number to a fraction greater than 1. So we're going to draw our number bond. And our number bond separating our ones and our thirds. So we have 2 and 1/3. Now we have our 2 parts. How many thirds are in 2 ones? So remember when we're doing how many, what you're really doing is you're asking yourself, well, if 1 is equal to 3/3, then 2 would be equal to 6/3. So 2 is equal to 6/3 plus 1/3, and 6/3 plus 1/3 is equal to 7/3. Okay, letter B, we have 2 and 3/4. We're going to separate it using a number bond. Separate our ones and our fraction, 3/4. I want to know how many fourths make up 2 ones. So again, if I show you up here, well, 4/4 is 1 whole. 8/4 would be 2. So 2 is what we're looking for. So in order to make 2 whole, I need 8/4. So 8/4 plus the 3/4. Now that we have the same common denominators, I can go ahead and add numerator plus numerator. 8 plus 3 is 11. And I bring over my like denominators. So I have 11, like denominators, I have 11/4. And letter C, I have 3 and 2/5. First thing I'm going to do is draw my number bond. I'm going to separate my ones from my fifths. I have 3, and here I have 2/5. I need to know how many fifths, because we want the denominators to be the same. This ends in fifths. How many fifths do I need to make up 3 whole? And again, remember, 5/5 is 1 whole. 10/5 would be 2. So 3 would be 15/5. So I need 3 is equal to 15/5 plus 2/5. So now that my denominators are the same, I can go ahead and add numerator plus numerator. 15 plus 2 is 17. And because the denominators are the same, I just bring it right over. So that becomes 17/5. I hope this helped you on how to convert a mixed number into a fraction greater than 1. Thanks for listening. Bye.